Hello, VC, and whoever's watching. It took me quite a long time to record this video, though I announced it. As I said in some videos before, I bought a record collection. By now, it's like 1.5 months ago, and it was really a great deal that I made. Definitely comparable to the collection I bought in summer, and I wanted to share what I got with you. So just to sum it up, the story there was on eBay Kleinanzeigen, the German Craigslist. There was an offer like a whole record collection for very good price, and but there weren't any pictures. It just said yeah, some rock stuff and jazz and Beatles. And I thought, okay, the price is so low. It's around my hometown. I will go there and check it out. And it turned out it was a fantastic deal. Great records. Only problem, they were stored at a cellar, so yeah, some of them have, or with a lot of them, you have trouble with the smell, which I had to deal with. Some were a bit moldy, which I had to deal with, and it took me quite some time to clean the covers, to get rid of the smell, to clean the vinyl, and I'm still working on that because there are quite a lot of records that I got. But overall, I think it was a great deal. I had a chance to pick I think it's like 30, 40 records just for myself, for my collection. And the rest of the collection I sold for the same price that I bought it. So overall, a great bunch of records, all for free, if you want to say it like that. And I'm very happy to share with you. So to start with, we have the Keith Hartley band, Half Breed. Fantastic band. What can I say about Keith Hartley? It's blues rock, jazz rock from the UK, named after the drummer Keith Hartley. It's great music. I think this is the first record, and the cool thing, I had a chance to see Miller Anderson, who played on all the records and who wrote most of the music, not on this one but on the other albums, and had a chance to meet him. He signed this for me, and I can highly recommend it. It comes on Durham. Even better than Half Breed are the next two. It's the Battle of North and West 6, which is great. And in my opinion, the best one is Overdog. Best cover design and best music. They were all released on DRAM, and especially the last two are very rhythmic, great melodies, great guitar work, and I can always recommend Keith Hartley Band to check it out. Fantastic stuff. So, the next one. This is 10 Years After, Undead. It's an upgrade copy for me. I already have this album. This is in a better condition. What can I say about 10 Years After? Fantastic blues rock from the UK. Later on, with more psychedelic elements in the music. This one has the great song, or the big song of 10 Years After, I'm Going Home. But also the first side with I may be wrong, but I won't be wrong always. It's fantastic. It's like a long jam, and like quite a lot of records from 10 Years After, they recorded this live at a gig and then released it as an album. So it's no live album, but the songs were recorded live. This comes on D-Run as well. So that's 10 Years After with an upgrade. The next one, just the same, 10 Years After. This is Stonehenge. I just had once a chance to listen to this at a record store. Back then, the record was pretty beat up, but the music was great. So I'm very glad that I got it in this collection. Very nice condition, and just as the other one, blues rock, partly very fast rock. I mean, Alvin Lee was very famous for playing guitar super fast, and also with a few psychedelic elements every now and then. The next one was new to me. This is Lou Rawls live. It's a US pressing, yeah. No, it's a German pressing actually. Didn't know anything about Lou Rawls. It's a mix of soul, R&B. Comes on Capital, was set German pressing, and yeah, a great pickup. There's another album in the collection which I showed in a few minutes. Definitely worth checking out. The next one is kind of a unknown thing to me. I mean, it just looks interesting. With interesting cover art. This is Grupo de Experimentación Sonora y Kai. I'm sorry, I don't speak Spanish, but this is record. I think it's from Cuba, and yeah, maybe something about the background of the collection. It was an elderly woman who moved from the town where I lived to a new city, and she wanted to sell all her stuff. And she told me her husband was actually a professional flamenco guitar player and was very much interested in Spanish and South American music. And for his playing, he did a lot of research. So he traveled to the countries and checked out the music and brought a lot of records. So um, I guess that's the reason why I have a Cuban pressing of this record. I have no clue what it is, but it will sure be interesting to give it a spin and listen to it. Just to cover the gun and the guitar. In every case, it's worth trying. The next one is a classic. This is Taste on the Boards. Yeah, what to say about that? First band of Rory Gallagher. I think this is his first appearance on a studio album. It's a great one, especially what's going on. I think also one of the classic tracks of this band. This comes on the original Polydor label. It's a German pressing, and it's fantastic. Great mix of blues, almost like hard rock elements, and from time to time some jazz influence, but mostly blues rock, hard rock, and definitely a recommendation. Next one, this is John Mayall, Bare Wires. To be honest, I don't know what the problem is with John Mayall, but whenever I get a record by him, the vinyl is always beat up, and same with this. So maybe it's weak. Nah, I think it's more Ouija. I will think whether I will give it away too, but I never find John Mayall records in a good condition. So for this, I didn't have a chance to listen to it yet. I have to reconsider after checking the vinyl because I don't want to like damage the needle. But I definitely like John Mayall. I've seen him once live at a show in Munich, and he's one of the blues musicians from the UK. Big influence on the scene and on the music scene in England and in general. If you think or just consider who played in the Blues Breakers, like Mick Taylor, Peter Green, Mick Fleetwood, John McVie, Eric Clapton, and on and on. But I never find a good copy of his studio work, so I think I have to skip this one too, but still always nice to see. The next one is an upgrade. This is Emerson, Lake and Palmer, self-titled. Comes in a lovely gatefold, all laminated, and with that, I can say it's released on the Pink Island label. So to me, I just love this label. A lot of good stuff, a lot of good albums released. And I'm not a huge fan of Emerson, Lake and Palmer, but this like the earliest stuff, I think it's a pretty okay. Like, of course, Lucky Man is a big hit, and not so much of a prog rock song, but I actually do like the first records. After that, it's a little bit too much for me. It's like too much orchestration, instrumentation. It's not so much focused, if you know what I mean. It's just like very huge and bombastic, but like other prog rock bands from the time, I think were more precisely in their composition, like Genesis, for example. So upgrade copy, Emerson, Lake and Palmer. The next one I'm pretty interested in listening to. This is Traffic, the low spark of High Heeled Boys. I think it's one of their classic albums, of course. Steve Winwood, Dave Mason, Jim Cavalli. So a lot of famous musicians that played in Traffic. Nice about this one is kind of a 3D effect you have with the cover art. So it's a cube with cutout edges, and usually Traffic is like a great mix of soul, of blues rock, sometimes jazz elements, and of course, with the great, fantastic voice of Steve Winwood, we have a fantastic singer in the band, and I can always recommend Traffic Records. If you see one, pick it up, give it a try, and there's actually nothing you can do wrong about it. So Traffic. The next album, it's the same record 2 times. This is Nice by The Nice. This is the US pressing. This is, I think, the German pressing, yes. So The Nice was, I think, like the first big professional band that Keith Emerson played in before he joined Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Also in the band, I forgot his name. I think it's something like Jackson. This guy who played guitar, who later founded Jackson Heights, like a semi-famous band. I don't know. They released a record on, or maybe more than one record on Vertigo Swirl. So maybe you know it from him. You know it from there. The Nice is a mix of rock and classic elements. It's okayish, not like my favorite stuff. I will pick one of these versions. I don't need both. But yeah, The Nice, just to see where Keith Emerson came from. If you're into Emerson, Lake and Palmer, it's very interesting. The next one is a nice one too. This is Five Bridges. I haven't listened to it yet. Usually you find this one quite often in Germany. The other ones are a little bit more rare. But as I said, early prog rock with an interesting mix of classic and rock. The next one is The Grand Wazoo. This is by, is it Just the Mothers? Yeah, this is Just the Mothers. So I think it's a follow-up band of the Mothers of Invention, Frank Zappa's band from the 60s. If I checked it out correctly, this should be like jazz rock. Okay, I was wrong. Frank Zappa was still in the band. But yes, as I said, checking Discogs, it says this should be like jazz rock. Haven't listened to this. Just checked out the other one that was in the collection from Frank Zappa, which I'll show you in a few minutes. But I enjoyed the first one, and I think the cover art is just fantastic with all the stuff going on with kind of the Roman or medieval, the medieval setting. So yeah, pretty cool one. The next record actually was the reason why I said, okay, I will buy the collection. So when I was there, went through and we had a smell, and I was a little bit concerned and wasn't sure about it. But then I saw this; it was in good condition. I said, okay, it's worth it. And if it's just for this one, so this is Vanilla Fudge Renaissance. What do you say about Vanilla Fudge? Great band from the 60s. I think they're more famous for the cover songs, like "You Keep Me Hanging On" is the big hit, and they made those songs usually like very hard. So I think this is considered to be proto hard rock, but they covered the songs in such a great and unique way. They turned the song into something totally different that you compared to what the songs were known for. So just the same with Keith Hardy Band. Whenever I see Vanilla Fudge for a decent price, I pick it up, and I was never disappointed. Maybe just the beat goes on, which is a bit weird. It's more like several very short music and sound pieces put together. I never really got into that, but the other records, especially rock and roll, are just fantastic. This comes on Atco, and I think it's a US pressing. It should be original one, and as I said, when I saw this in the collection, I said, okay, I will pick it up, and I wasn't disappointed. Just the same with the next title. This is Jimi Hendrix Experience. Are you experienced? As you can see from the cover, this is the US pressing. It's like 70s, early 70s reissue. Comes on lovely hardcover, and it's a fantastic album. I don't think there's anything or a lot to say about the Jimi Hendrix Experience. Great band. This, and I'm not sure whether it's the same with the German or UK pressings. This has Hey Joe on it. which I think was like the breakthrough single in the 60s. But it's a fantastic album overall. You can't do anything wrong. Picking up the 3 albums they released, like Access Bolts Love and Electric Ladyland, they're all fantastic. And with this, I can finish my Jimi Hendrix collection. And I mostly recommend actually Are You Experienced? The last track on this album, fantastic. So great mix of psychedelic, of blues, sometimes pretty hard rock elements. So just fantastic. The next one, actually, it's the same. I don't know anything about it. No Cambian, El Paso, Chiringa, Rhythmicos, De Palma. Again, sorry if I pronounced it uh, wrong. This is also a record from Cuba. As I said, the husband of the lady from which I bought the collection was very much into that music. There were a lot of albums like that, and I said, okay, just to remember the collection and the work of her husband, I will keep this one. This is from Cuba, and I checked Discogs, so this is the only version of this album ever released. There's just this in this world. There's no reissue, no CD, nothing. On the backside, you see the band, and it's yeah, very rhythmical South American style music. I know it's a bad summary of the music genre. I'm not so much into it, but this one, to remember the collection, to remember the husband, I will keep. And I think it's cool to say, okay, this is the only version of this album ever released, probably that will ever be released. So I will keep this one. The next one is Mellow Yellow by Donovan. So Donovan, 60s folk singer who later on got some psychedelic influences, who got more and more into jazz. So um, especially on this one, we have some jazz influences already. Of course, the big song is Mellow Yellow, which was a hit single in the 60s. But the album in general is just very nice listening to. It's a hardcover coming from the US. And as you can see, by the way, like the husband, he always wrote the first letters of his first and last name on the records. The problem with the US pressings is it's hardcover. There's no lamination, so when I try to remove it, I would damage the paper surface. So I can remove it, like from a lot of records. But there's some other versions, like the next one, which is the Time Out, the Dave Brubeck, Brubeck Quartet. This is laminated. It's a UK pressing coming on a CBS label. I think it's just early reissue. On this one, there were the 2 letters as well, but it's easy to remove it. Though it took me some time, but in the end, I got a lovely copy. I'm not so much into jazz, but Dave Brubeck is, I think, like one of the few jazz musicians that like almost everyone knows, like Miles Davis or John Coltrane. Even if you're not into that music genre, usually people know about it. And of course, Take 5 is the big hit on this one. But in general, it's a very enjoyable album, and actually got me to reconsider my favors about jazz. So I started to listen to a few albums here and there, like the very big ones, Kind of Blue, for example, Some Kind of Blue, and actually was a very good door opener to get into this genre. And yeah, great to have it, and especially like to have the record with Take 5, just fantastic. So the next one, there was also Vertigo's to Whirl in this one. This is Valentine Suit by Colosseum. Great band from the UK as well. A lot of big names that played in Colosseum over the years, like Chris Farlow, Mark Clark, who also played for Uriah Heep, Clem Glamson, who played in Humble Pie, yeah. But I think this is their second album. It's on the Vertigo Swirl label, and actually it's also UK pressing, which is pretty great, because if I'm correctly informed, Valentine's Suit was the first title released on Vertigo Swirl, and on top of that, it's a fantastic album. So Also a lot of jazz rock influences, but comes with a prog rock feeling overall. Um, Great copy, nice shape with the original inner sleeve. So glad that I got this one. Already had it, now it's an upgrade, so pretty cool to have it. And the next one, this is nice too, and this is called Ars Longa Vita Brevis, which I think is Latin, but I don't know what it means. This is, as I said, the mix of rock, classic, but with more psychedelic elements on it. I just love the cover with the three skeletons mixed up, coming together. Yeah, I think this is the last nice record that was in the collection. I think he had like all studio albums, and yeah, was nice, giving a spin, released on immediate, which also released stuff of from Small Faces, Chris Farlow. So it's a good one. The next one, this is the Jeff Beck group, Beckola. Very enjoyable record. I'm glad it was in the collection. I think it's a German pressing. I think it's the original pressing as well. Yeah, it comes on the blue Columbia label. I try recently to get more into Jeff Beck, as so many musicians say, or guitarists say, that he's like the real deal. And after checking out some records, I can definitely confirm it. Like what he did sound-wise with his instrument, if you think about it, it was like the 60s. It's just fantastic. And a great musician who unfortunately passed this or last year. And yeah, but one of the big names. And also with the Jeff Beck group, you have Rod Stewart in the band and Ronnie Wood. So if you're interested in their early stuff, start with the Jeff Beck group. Definitely a recommendation, Beckola. Oh, the next one is pretty good as well. Arlo Guthrie, Running Down the Road. So Arlo Guthrie, I think he played in Woodstock. Correct me if I'm wrong. This US pressing as well, the hardcover. Fantastic album with the big hit Coming into Los Angeles. Great singer-songwriter, folk stuff, and especially side 2. It fancies me more than side 1. It's just all killer no filler on side 2. Great mix, as I said, folk rock, singer-songwriter stuff, some psychedelic influences here and there, and I think definitely a product of its time, but just fantastic. The next one, I don't think I had a chance to listen to it yet. This is Songs from a Room by Leonard Cohen. So in the collection I got it summer, there was another Leonard Cohen song record, and I really enjoyed it. Great musician, great lyricist, and but mostly great musician. I like what he did on guitar with this like Spanish sounding stuff is just fantastic. So this comes on Columbia label. This is the original pressing with the 2i Columbia label, which you can identify by these symbols in here. So there are 2 of them, which means it's a 2i label version, and yeah, just great stuff. The next one was new to me, and unfortunately I had to censor it because I don't think that YouTube is so happy about it. This is Franz de Bill and Heiner Hohenhaus, self-titled. Yeah, I had to add those stripes, as you can imagine. They're nude in this picture. This is Krautrock from, I think, Berlin, and actually Franz de Bill is still active these days. You can check out on YouTube and on Google. He's these days a guitar teacher who lives in Berlin, and this is a fantastic album. It's just the 2 guys, 2 guitars, and I think a mandolin as well, and they have a fantastic jam. It's like the side 2 is just one big jam. I'd rather drink muddy water. Fantastic, just from start to beginning. And the first side is our covers like Can't Find My Way, which is a cover of Blind Faith, and this is just great. It comes on metronome. I didn't know anything about it, but great addition to the collection. If you find it, I think they're like 30, 40, maybe $50. If you find a copy, check it out. Definitely worth it. How they play guitar is just insane. Really fantastic. Next one, Colosseum again. This is their first album called To Those Who Are About to, for Those Who Are About to Die. Salute you. As I said, the first record comes on Fontana. German? No, I think it's a Dutch pressing. This is Arthur and Valentine Suit. This is very much jazz rock, so you barely have any or like the prog rock influences and jams. They're not that big. It's really mostly jazz rock on this one, but pretty good one. A lot of instrumentals and a great start for a band to made after that even some better records, but good introduction to Colosseum, a good start for the band, and really nice one, yeah. So what else do we have? Like this is Sonny Terry and Brownie McGee at Sugar Hill live recording. So as it says, it's a live recording of those two blues musicians, which who are pretty famous, like one of the big names. Just nothing else to say but fantastic blues rock performed by those guys. Mostly acoustic guitar and the harp, and it sounds fantastic. Just those two guys, you don't need anything else. Great one. Next one is Traffic, Shoot at a Fantasy Factory. So this is also a cutout cover, though it has no 3D effect, but a great one. On this one they have like a lot of let's say like African influences. I think it's this guy who later joined Can actually, and on this record it's I don't know whether it comes from him or what changed over the years, but it's a very rhythmical record and very rhythmic driven record with African influences, if you can say it like that, but just fantastic. So I think the cover art doesn't look anything like what you listen or what you're about to listen on the record, but it's just fantastic. So as I said with the other Traffic record, if you find one, check it out. I was never disappointed. This comes on the Island label, Pingram Island label. Very great one. The next one is Cream, Goodbye. So this is their farewell or their last record. This is a UK pressing on Polydor. And I'm not 100% sure about the history of this record. I think Cream were at this time really they had a lot of disputes at this time, and they couldn't really get it together and make a whole new studio album. So I think there's some studio tracks on it and some live tracks. But although the band was maybe not like the best condition, or like the guys didn't understand each other that well at this time, it's still a fantastic record. And I really like side one with the live versions, especially I'm So Glad. Just fantastic, over 9 minutes long, a great jam, and I think it combines everything that that Cream is famous for, and it shows that all three of them are like remarkable musicians. The next one, this is Lou Rawls, Too Much. So the studio album, as I said, with the live album, it's R&B, soul, great stuff, good to listen to. The US pressing comes on Capitol Records, and definitely a nice addition to the collection. So if I have a chance to find more by Lou Rawls, I will pick it up. This one, I'm very happy about it. This is, I think, the third copy of this album that I have. This is Pink Floyd, A Saucer Full of Secrets, and it's a German original pressing on the white and red Columbia label, in very good condition actually. And yeah, it's like a record that was made in a transition. So Sid Barrett was still partly in the band. Jack Bad Blues, one of the tracks comes from him, but the other guys already started to write their own material, mostly Roger Waters and Richard Wright, and they have fantastic tracks on this. So I think this is like one of the overseen albums by Pink Floyd, but actually it's pretty great. I love Static Controls for the Heart of the Sun, which has a great riff. Let There Be More Light, which has a fantastic blues intro. Remember a Day, and of course also full of secrets. Though I have to admit I prefer the live versions. But it's a fantastic album, and be sure to check it out. It's very sad that people don't talk about it more often, or that it seems to be overseen, but great one. Next we have Frank Zappa, Waka Jawaka. So as with the Grand Wazoo, this is jazz rock. Sometimes partly hard to listen to, some with some great moments as well in between. So it's not like your everyday record, but definitely interesting, and it made fun to listen to. Yeah. All right. So there are two more things like this record. Just a few days before I bought a collection, I was checking out the internet, eBay for good offers to get this album. It's I wanted an upgrade. My copy is a bit beat up, and it's a later reissue, and I wanted like the original one. And then just a few days later, I found it in a collection. It was incredible. Yeah, let's just get into it. This is In the Court of the Crimson King by King Crimson, their first studio album, 1969, I think. It's just fantastic from end to beginning. A great album, great cover art, great songs on it, great musicians. It's got it all. And this is the original UK pressing on the Pink Island label. The vinyl is in great condition, looks lovely, like I would say Ouija Blast. And the album overall is also pretty good shape. The only problem is the pre-owner stored the record like this, so the inside of the gatefold was outside and the other way around. So I had to bend it, but I think by now it looks pretty okay. Maybe I have to flatten it a little bit more, but to have the first King Crimson record on the Pink Island label, which is a highly wanted record in the community, is just fantastic. Just check out the cover art. It's fantastic. If you don't know the record, listen to it. 21st Century, Schizoid Man, Epitaph, Talk to the Wind. Just like all killer, no filler. Every track on this album is fantastic. On point with Greg Lake on vocals. Fantastic. Nothing else to say, but just fantastic. Well, okay, and the last thing. This was actually a surprise too. I didn't, or found it out when I brought a collection home and went through all the stacks. Then I saw this is into. This is the Beatles collection, the box set. It's from 1984, UK pressing. If I'm correctly informed, this was the last time that the original master tapes were used to release the studio albums on vinyl. Correct me if I'm wrong about it. That's what I have in mind. I already have all the Beatles studio albums, but now I have to think about what I will do, whether I will sell my other ones, which one I will keep. But with this, I have all the UK studio albums. The covers are just in remarkable condition. A little bit thinner than the ones that I have, but I don't know whether it's because this is UK pressing or whether it's because the box set. But this is stereo. Also the vinyl in fantastic condition. It's almost like unplayed. I just had to deal a little bit with the mold as well. But I think after putting in some time, I just mentioned I would just keep the stuff in there. Everything comes with it. So the white album with the photos, with the poster. So everything is in there, and yeah, just glad that I got this one. And I think just a great end for this collection, for this video. This is it. Just a remarkable chance to get so many great records and all for free. We will see whether anything like this comes up again. Like with the collection at summer, I thought like, okay, this is like collection and a deal that you can do, like, I don't know, maybe once every 5 years or something. Then just a few months later, there's another opportunity to get so many great records. And yeah, I'm just really glad and grateful how it turned out. Great collection, and thank you very much for listening, for watching. Hope to see you next time. Bye.